Welcome back to another brew day. So today I'm brewing up an American amber ale. So there's a bit of a story behind this in that I actually ordered a British Best Bitter kit. Well, I ordered a few actually at the same time, and I've just finished a bitter. So I had this left over and I thought, do I want to brew another bitter, or do I fancy brewing something else? So I fancy something a little bit more hoppy, and this sort of grain bill suits an American amber ale, hopefully, just as well as it suits a British Best Bitter. So basically ale malt, it's got some wheat, some crystal, and some Carapils in it. So it's pretty much the same as what you'd expect to see in an American amber ale. Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway. So this is a 22 litre batch. This was actually designed for a 23 litre batch, but I'm scaling it down a little bit just to balance out the sort of lack of efficiency from my brew in a bag system. So that's going to allow me to fill a corny keg and a few bottles to take to the homebrew club. So this consists of 4.38 kilograms of malt, fermentables, in the form of 3.5 kilograms of best ale malt, which I think is the crisp one. So just about 80% of that. That is 3 Lovibond, I think. So yeah, that's followed by 440 grams of Torrefied Wheat, just about 10% of that. Then there's 260 grams of Carapils or Carafoam, around about 6% of that. And then there's 180 grams of medium crystal 240, which is about 4%. So that's the grain bill. So as I say, it is a best bitter, but it's pretty much the same as the amber ale recipes that I've been looking at. It should give me a nice malty, slightly caramel, copper coloured wort or beer, finished beer at the end. The only difference between this and the best bitter, obviously this is going to be a lot more hoppy. So an American amber ale, description is amber, hoppy, moderate strength, American beer with a malty caramel flavour. So the hopping seems to vary between recipes, but I'm going for a kind of a mid-hopped version of it. So the hops I'm going to be using are Magnum at the start. So I'm only going to be doing a 30-minute boil on this. I want to keep it a nice short brew day. So I'm going to use 8 grams of Magnum at 30 minutes, which is going to give me about 10 IBUs. And then and then there's going to be a 15-minute addition, and that's going to be 10 grams each of Amarillo, Cascade and Centennial. And then I'm going to be doing a hop stand, 15-minute hop stand with 40 grams of Cascade and 25 grams of Amarillo. So it's going to be a nice citrusy, malty amber ale, hopefully. The yeast I'm using is a US ale yeast. This one happens to be from Cross My Loof, and it's their Cross My Loof Atlantic yeast, which is a kind of US, it says US 05 equivalent, but with a more rounded palate. I don't know what that means. I don't know how it's going to turn out. It's the first time I've used it, but you know, any kind of US 05 type yeast will do just as good, hopefully. So yeah, 22 litre batch. What else is there to say? I'm going to mash this for 60 minutes at 65 degrees. Probably won't bother with a mash out. I've been doing some reading around that. It doesn't seem to make that much difference with brewing the bag. So I'll probably just go with 65 for 60 minutes, and that will be it. Go straight to the boil. I will be fermenting it with that yeast. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe for about 10 days. There's going to be no dry hop in this, so fairly straightforward fermentation. I'm going to be using tap water for this. So my tap water is quite hard. I don't know whether that's going to make too much difference, but I've just chosen the American amber ale style in Brewfather, and it's adjusted my tap water for that. And that's about it. So yeah, hopefully relatively straightforward. Brew day, I'm aiming at a finished product around probably about 4.6, 4.7%, just on the cusp of actually the guidelines, and also the colour on this in Brew Father says it is kind of outside of that band, but I don't know. I think I can't see how this, which is designed to be a British best bitter, is going to be outside of the colour range for an amber ale. I think I'm expecting this to be amber, so I don't know. We'll have to see how that turns out. But yeah, so that's it. I'll get some footage on the way, and I'll see you at the end. Hopefully with a very nice tasting beer. We'll wait and see. Yep, see you at the end. Cheers. All right, here it is. The American amber / ale / best bitter type thing. So this has now been in the keg for about 4 weeks, just under. Finished up about 4.5%. Yeah, so brewed it exactly as I said at the start. Yeah, so this is how it turned out. So I was hoping it was going to be amber, as I was hoping to get an American amber ale. Don't know if you can kind of get that colour on the camera, but it's I'd say it was just about amber. It's a very light coloured amber, more like a dark copper colour. So considering this was the base of a best bitter kit, I'd say it's probably quite a light coloured best bitter, but you know, it's still, that's what it is. I didn't design the recipe, as I said. It was bought to as a kit to brew this best bitter, but yeah, fancied changing it up for this amber ale. So yeah, I mean, I think I can just about call that an amber ale. So quite a nice, attractive, dark golden copper colour, I would say. But yeah, anyway, it's got a nice sort of head on the top. I haven't carbonated it too highly. I wanted it quite a low carbonation. I've just kind of set it and forgot about it in the keg. So yeah, it smells really good actually. Really nice aroma from the Cascade and Amarillo. And pretty happy with that actually, aroma wise. It's exactly what I'd hope American amber ale would smell like, at least. Really nice kind of citrusy grapefruit smells. I haven't actually brewed with Cascade kind of as one of the main players in a beer for quite some time, and actually I think I've missed it. It smells really nice. The Cascade, nice and floral. It's got a kind of delicate sort of grapefruity citrus aroma to it, backed up by that Amarillo. So yeah, perfect, classic sort of pairing, and worked perfectly in this. Also had some Centennial in there as well, so I'm sure that's coming through a little bit. But aroma wise, absolutely spot on. Smells great. It's a sort of hint of sweetness coming from the malt, sort of caramelly malt, but it's all about that sort of Cascade, delicate sort of citrus flavours coming through. Slight bit of orange, I guess, coming from the Amarillo as well. Right, so Appearance, it's okay. Not quite there with the colouring, but definitely hitting it on the aroma. What does it taste like? Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, so malt wise, there's some nice malt character coming through from the best ale malt. It's a nice sort of grainy, biscuity malt flavour coming from that. Slight sweetness from that caramel. It's got a nice mouthfeel. There's quite a lot of wheat in this. 400 grams was it, or 600 grams? Can't quite remember, but it was a fair whack of torrefied wheat in this, and this is giving it a nice sort of, you know, full mouthfeel, and you can see it's nice lacing on the glass as well. So yeah, I think for a base, really good. You get a nice citrus kick coming from the hops. It's not overpowering. It's not like an IPA or a pale ale, dialed down a little bit, but it's a very nice balance between the malt and the hops. So really pleased actually with that. I wasn't quite sure how it was going to turn out. I had my reservations, I must admit, but I'm really happy with that. It's a very nice drinkable beer, and kind of just what I was hoping for. Hits the spot, the hops, and it's got a lovely nice malty background to it as well. So yeah, happy little accident, as someone once said, I think. I'm not sure what the yeast is bringing to it really. I mean, it was the Atlantic, I think, from Cross Maloof, which is a kind of alternative to USO5. Said it had a kind of softer, rounder palate or rounder finish or something like that. I couldn't tell you what that's really doing, but it's fermented out nice and clean. I used tap water for this, so you know it's probably not as refined as it might be if I was using RO water, but it's turned out pretty well actually. Quite happy with that. Yeah, so I don't know if I'd ever actually be able to repeat it or I'd bother. I think I'd probably make my own grain bill up for if I was going to do an amber again, but it's turned out pretty well actually. I'm happy with the result, and I think I'm going to be using Cascade a bit more because I've forgotten how nice it is. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy these, and yeah, I don't know, if you fancy giving it a go, give it a go, but American Amber is definitely a style I would say is worth exploring if you haven't tried it. Yeah, anyway, cheers everyone.